Welcome to the 80th weekly episode of Marked Out Radio. We are the premier podcast focused on the hobby of collecting autographs and photo ops from celebrities. We talk about autograph conventions, on-the-street encounters, and everything else about this increasingly weird hobby. I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And it's funny, we made it to 80 episodes. We have almost as many episodes as that dude has autographs in his gigantic collection.
That's 80's a huge number when it involves autographs.
Yeah, I thought, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that post, I howled out loud with laughter. Like, if you know what it is though, it speaks to sort of a reality that for normal people, 80 autographs is a lot. You know, if I said to some stranger at work, hey, if I had 80 autographs, that's a big collection, I'm sure they'd say yes. And now, for me, in the thousands, or you in the thousands, I don't even know, people would just kind of shake their head and quietly walk away,
Not to make a Class 316 analogy here, but it's like, a user of someone that smokes weed occasionally talking to like a crackhead and thinking that like what they're doing is like even registering on like the Richter scale.
Yeah. There's no comparison. It is funny. It is funny when our world intersects with the normal world. But anyway, so lots of stuff happened this week. We actually have a pretty cool show for you, I think. Well, I mean, it's all relative, I guess. So first off, you went to a Bill Eadie signing. That was today or yesterday?
That was today. Bill Eadie made it in. Luckily, the weather did not stop his flight this time around. Bill was here. Barry was not, as he wasn't supposed to be. So Ken was busy completing all the demolition stuff that was half complete. Which, I mean, I love Bill Eadie, but if Bill Eadie would have somehow not been around for this signing, if you know what I mean, if he would have croaked, and Ken would have had like hundreds of half-signed demolition items, it actually would have been funny on a content level. He would have been so pissed. But, Bill Eadie was back. Much like Barry Darso, Bill seemed to recognize me. He's like, great to see you again. And I don't think he says that to everybody. So I assume I have registered now in both of the consciousnesses of both demolition members. So I'm not sure what type of like upper percent this puts me in of like demolition fans worldwide. If I'm like a platonic groupie at this point for demolition, or they just have great memories and remember a lot of the weirdos that see them a ton. But
I recommend that the next Halloween party you go as one of the members of Demolition, and I want you to record for me the websites you have to go to get the gear that resembles theirs.
Last I checked, Fanatics doesn't offer it. So
yeah, curiously enough, they don't. So
yes. Well, no, go on.
I would say, how was Bill Eadie?
He was great. We chatted education because he is a former teacher, and I never realized that he taught in a school kind of like a little on the fringes of alternative like mine. I didn't know that. I knew Shane Douglas had. I thought Bill was more traditional school, but he's not. So that was nice. And I got my big rubber guy and my elite done. And for people that follow the group, Barry, I had done red and yellow, like the signature one color, inscription the other. And I somehow accidentally inverted the colors where I did I just inverted the colors. It's self-explanatory. And I actually I'm not trying to convince myself this time. This isn't like Duggan's fingerprint. I actually like the way it looks. I'm glad I made that mistake. It looks cool side by side, how like the one signed in the color, the other one inscribed in. I like it. So
I actually like inverting things like that too. I actually do like doing that. I did that with the twins from The Shining on that. I like that.
I'm becoming a 2-color guy with the inscriptions and stuff. Like when you're in a situation like this and it's laid back and you're paying for it, like what the hell? I'm actually becoming a 2-color guy.
Good for you. Who else was there? I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I started with that insanity a while back on the Funko Pops, and it's like anything else. I guess we can also use Steve here Class 316, talk about like once you can't ever just do something and keep it the same. We get progressively more particular about things, right? Two
Yeah.
color, then it has to look a certain. It's
But as for who else was there, you had Sean Searat was in the building. Always great to see him. Ken, of course, was in the building. Great to see him. And then Brian and Bobby Apt from the KNS team, and it's always awesome to see them. I, as usual, spent more time chatting than I did actually getting things signed. Oh yeah, also Ray, the incomparable Ray Duchek was there as well.
What could Ray possibly need a axe on?
Ray's a collector's collector.
Well,
I know
he's seen axe more than you have, substantially.
Oh yeah, I think him and Axe actually exchanged Christmas cards. I'm not even joking. It wouldn't surprise me. I know Ray started a new project now with the mini Shakira boards, where he has like they do one representing their first Royal Rumble appearance. So he definitely needed him on that, and he did some big Shikishi with like Bill did like all his different signatures on it with which again if you're a Shikishi guy, it's really cool. The clean simplicity of them is nice. It's just I'm not collecting anything else. And if you see my office here, there's not much about me that screams clean simplicity. So,
yeah. All right. So I noticed that Sean had a bunch of really cool items, some ring used stuff, some belts. He really goes all out for these things.
Yeah, his the items he had were insane. He had ring worn masks from the Masked Superstar. He had Bill Eadie's cape. I think it was a cape. Which again, only in this world do you bring an old man's old cape to a store and get it signed. And you gotta love pro wrestling. And he had belts, like he has like actual, like I know you had high quality belts. I have like a couple Shop Zone belts that isn't even called the Shop Zone anymore. And I have the belts I bought from the mysterious a garage that probably also have mysterious mold on them. So I am not a high quality belt collector. I am a cheap, convenient belt collector. But Sean's belts are like the thick plates. They're heavy. They're nice looking. They're like, he has like the real deal stuff. So he had some awesome things.
Cool. So I guess that's it for Bill Eadie. What else was there this week in terms of reports? Sean and Fanny brought his son over to the WWE Bridgeport house show and did their meet and greet and got Raquel Rodriguez and Carmelo Hayes. So Carmelo Hayes is a good get now that he seems to be getting a push.
Yeah, and he had the title, which is, it's always cool when you get the guy holding the title that they're currently holding. That is an awesome thing. And yeah, I mean, as always, the WWE On Location team, it's always a nice event. They always have a great time, as does everyone else, I'm sure.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked good. What else do we have today? Tyler, he had really interesting meet. So okay, let's give some context here. So apparently Elvis Presley frequently sang with a backup group called J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet. This is well out of my comfort zone here, so I'm just repeating what Tyler posted here. And he sang with them over 1,000 times. This was like a backup quartet for him that frequently was with him. And this guy, Ed Enoch, is the last surviving member of the Stamps Quartet. And Tyler got him. So I do, that's one of those things where I think it's cool just for the historical aspect of it.
Yeah, my Elvis knowledge kind of ends with the with that new biopic that came out like 2 years ago. I watched that. I really enjoyed it. I don't know much more about Elvis. I did pop for Class 316, like posting the wiki link from the other member of the quartet, one of them. Well, the wiki says he died in 1988. Huh? And it's like, well, obviously, dumbass, it's not that one since he's alive and looking in the camera. But he is mentally fried. But no, historically, it's extremely cool. It's what it makes me think about when I got Junior Marvin from the Wailers. And like, clearly it's not morally, but just having someone that was like on and, aided in recording an iconic album is awesome. And this is it's the same thing. You can't get Elvis unless you wander around some of those gas stations that people in Alabama keep seeing him for the last like 4 or 5 decades. So if you don't get down there, you ain't getting Elvis. So
Side note, not related to anything. Did you intend to post a few minutes ago the mailbag thing on Facebook, or did you just mistime it?
No, I figured screw it. Just post it now. Because
Oh,
our
okay.
mailbag is getting a little thin. So
Yeah. All right, that's fair. I wasn't sure. I just saw it pop up and thought, oh, maybe it was a mistimed thing.
I was hoping I didn't
What else?
post something else by accident. Picture of my
Yeah.
bare ass or something on the group.
Yes.
It's Ass Cheek Sunday.
It's funny that you said that, because my good friend's father-in-law one time inexplicably posted a penis picture on Facebook. And like I saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do? You gonna tell him to take it down?" He's like, I don't want to tell him to take it down, because if I tell him, that means that we all have to acknowledge that I saw it. So, yeah. So yeah, you gotta be extra careful with the thumbs. Oh my god. For some reason that just reminded me of that. That was a couple years ago now. All right, what else we got on the report side? Zach Chiera, he met. I was actually going to post the Kenan Thompson book signings this week, but I guess they happened this weekend. So Kenan Thompson was at Bookends, and Zach got him at Bookends. Kenan apparently is the type who takes photos with sunglasses on indoors, which is a certain kind of celebrity, and yeah, it's funny because I never really cared about that. And now, after the Olivia Hussey thing with the sunglasses and the hat indoors, I just can't. Every time I see it now, I go, "Oh God, sunglasses indoors!" And it's always the same excuse that the eyes are sensitive to light. Is this a thing that celebrities' eyes are always sensitive to light? Like, what is that? I never heard of such a thing.
Here's the reality. I think everyone's eyes are somewhat sensitive to light.
Yes.
You keep, but I would have understood it more like in 2008 when people had flash photography, but like now, besides Greg, who's currently running up and down the beaches of Malibu, I mean, him and his flash are in California. Like
he's certainly not doing that for fun. He's doing it for combos, right?
Yeah, he's doing the Hollywood show. Not to spoil his report, but most people are using their cell phones. Like, there isn't a flash. So like, what are you protecting your eyes from? When you, for pro ops, I get it more. But you keep getting the flash. And I get that, but I mean, you need sunglasses for a Galaxy and an iPhone just being in front of your face with no flash. It's ridiculous. But what's more ridiculous is the fact that I want Kenan Thompson. And I really should have been there today, but I would have missed Bill Eadie, so I couldn't have done it today, really. And then
so you value Bill Eadie more than Kenan Thompson?
Well, yeah, I mean, unless Kenan is killed by a flash, he should have several decades in him for me to get him. He's going to write more books that no one cares about, and he's going to tour with them. Bill Eadie, I mean, is probably on his last leg, so to speak. He's older, so now's the time to get Bill Eadie on the figures.
All right, that logic makes sense to someone out there. I get it, because it's you're always thinking 5 steps into the future, right?
Yeah.
So
as Kenan gets hit by a bus right now,
he pulls a Tracy Morgan, gets hit by a truck. Well, Tracy survived that. We had some funny, interesting posts on the board on the Facebook, the Marked Out Autograph Collecting Community Facebook group this week. So you may not know, or maybe you heard on the news, Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead died this week, and in the Marked Out tradition that I adore so much, Vinny posted an LP for sale. Really, I don't think the body had even fallen to the ground yet.
I was proud of Vinny.
I was very proud. I firmly are of the belief that I am of the belief that if someone's value is never higher than that moment. So if you're not taking advantage of it, someone else is. It's not like there's this hollowed, solemn moment where no one lists stuff. You're the sucker who obeys this strange moratorium that no one else really cares about, except for a select few. But Yeah, Vinny posted it. Like you could almost set a timer to it. People came in. Actually, some people who were on the board for on the Facebook group for a while, complaining and crying about it. People are just it's very strange, and this is one of those things similar to being a sports fan where I just don't. I cannot in like. There's certain things. There's certain feelings that even though I don't feel them, I can at least empathize and I can say, all right, I understand how you might feel that way, even if I don't. This I genuinely don't understand. I don't understand why selling the autograph of a person who has died is disrespectful when it had been for sale previously and now it's not available anymore or the supply is permanently constrained and so the price has gone up. I just don't get it, but whatever. I feel like we've talked about this a bunch of times.
Yeah. An analogy that just hit me as you were talking, and I think it's actually fitting, that when you said the value is never higher, basically as the casket lowers, so will the value. If you wait days, you're done. You gotta push. I think people get more upset about the price going up. If you sold it at the same price it was yesterday, I think there's less resistance. But that's just dumb. Why would you sell something when the value goes up, when the supply becomes a fixed number that can't grow anymore, and people start snatching them off the market? What kind of a moron is going to sell them at cost, at living cost? Come on. And I really wish, like, you actually made me pop when you told me that, like, someone reported it to the administrators.
Yeah, I got an administrative report, and I declined to act on that report for obvious reasons.
Let me make this clear. Not only do we allow selling when someone dies, we encourage it.
I'm gonna go a step further. It's one of my
favorite parts.
We don't just encourage it; we celebrate it.
Yes, we celebrate it. We are all. Our motto is: don't wait for the body to get cold. Get your item sold.
I like that.
That's a T-shirt. I got to write that down when we finally follow through on that PWT store. That is a T-shirt.
I got to do that this week. I keep forgetting. Honestly, it's too low on my to-do list. I need to bump it up higher.
You know how many people wanted to give away for Christmas and Hanukkah our T-shirts? You ruined several holidays, maybe even Kwanzaa. You ruined them all.
Yeah, my bad. So let's see. In other news, what else happened? Oh, so once every 2 years or so, Harrison Ford does a private signing in it's a bunch of like groups coordinated together. So I think it's done directly through his agent Coolwater. But a bunch of groups took pre-orders for it, and it's my understanding that because Twin Cities Comics is one of those, and I've given Twin Cities Comics a fair amount of private signing business, and then some of the returns were not great. There were dead pen issues, there were quality control issues, and Twin Cities admitted that they were not in the room for it. It was only the agent was doing it. So I think, it's funny because the Coolwater's agent I've talked to a few times, seems pretty cool. Seems to understand the value that consumers and the consumers place on this stuff, and seem to get it. And I saw some of these. There are lots of dead streaky paint pens. Did you have a look at any of these?
I did.
What was your thought on overall the returns that were posted?
Didn't look great. If it was maybe let's say you sent in someone has like Ray Apollo, you spend $30 and the paint is not flawless. I guess every purchase should have the same level of quality control, but you could kind of be like, nothing's perfect in life. But when you're spending, I imagine 4 figures. I don't know what the pricing was, but I think everything was.
It was 4 figures for
everything's 4 figers. So when you're paying 4 figures. And it's something where you have a streaky pen on a window that you could easily just wipe, dry it quickly and redo it. Like, what are you doing? Whoever's in the room, whether it's the agent, whether it's Twin Cities, whether it's Jesse Ventura in a bunny suit, whoever's in the damn room running the signing, you got to wipe something if it gets done poorly. You can't just say, all right, here you go. So it's I don't know what kind of make good they can do. I know people, I imagine, are doing chargebacks and different things. I don't really know how that works. You have an item, and I mean, you've done more of those than I have. But I mean, I would not be satisfied for a 4-figure purchase, and I get something that looks anything less than, dare I say, perfect.
Yeah, I've done a bunch, and by and large, my experiences have been very good. So I did one round. I'll just go through some of them. I did one round of back when Twin Cities had Amelia Clark and what's his face, John Harrington. What's his name?
Kit,
Kit
Harington.
John Harrington. Kit Harrington. That's what I meant. And Jon Snow. There you go.
I
And
almost called him Kit Snow, so I was mixing it up the other way.
They used decos on the Funko windows, and white deck. You know how white deco can get a little bit temperamental.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't. There was like a little bit streaky. It wasn't the greatest looking thing, and it was annoying to me because I know that the white Sharpies are particularly good, and the white Sharpie would have been great, and I was annoyed. And then so I got a second round back when they had the two of them again. They also had oh god. Why am I forgetting everyone's name now?
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. Yeah, they had him too. And then they did a better job. They used a better marker the second time. I did Nancy Cartwright on a Funko. Came out perfect. Couldn't possibly be better if you tried exactly what I asked for. It looked perfect. I did Patrick Stewart. Perfect. Flawless. Amazing. When I did Stone Cold Steve Austin that time, when I mailed the jacket away, better than perfect. He went out of his way. They went out of their way to give me like a super huge, just took awesome pictures of him doing it. Just a phenomenal experience with that. What else did I send away? Oh, I did a private signing once with Joan Cusack for through Mintich, whatever they're called. It was horrible. They folded the Funko box the wrong way so that her autograph went across in the wrong window. Well, it was not great, but it wasn't super expensive, so whatever. I did mailaways years ago before Michael Ironside started doing cons. I did one for Michael Ironside for his Starship Troopers stuff, and that was through that other company that went out of business. I forget. But by and large, mine have been pretty good. So I haven't had, if I got a return. Oh, I did Robert Downey Jr. through SWAU, and mine was one of the honestly, in my opinion, one of the best ones out there. I actually dare I say the best one out there that I've seen. Anyway,
I think I only did Beat Shop. I'm not a mail away guy, so I have nothing to contribute here. But
I was doing a lot of mail orders, around COVID. I don't know why. It was something to do, and I was interested in it. I had always made the assumption that these people were not going to do cons. I did Nancy Cartwright. Like it would have been cooler if I'd gone to Steel City and gotten Nancy Cartwright, but I never thought that she would do anything. So I just sent away for it anyway. So I would be pretty pissed if I got a return that looked like some of these Harrison Fords. And it's funny because like I have been tempted. I mean, granted, we got Harrison Ford for free on the street that time. I have been tempted. Do I get another Harrison Ford item? Because Harrison Ford is old, really old. And
his value is only going to go up. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I've resisted. And every time I go, I should have done it. But now, I've seen these returns. I would be horrified if I did a private signing with someone like a Harrison Ford and got an item back that sucked. And just to be clear, not all returns suck. Most returns look great. I saw so many posts that looked great. But if I got one that was bad,
yeah.
I mean, look, I understand there's a little bit of breakage that happens, and that's why running these signings is a stressful endeavor.
Yeah, but
things happen.
Whether you're the agent or the signing company that's advertising it, you have to know how to prep a pen, when to throw a pen out and start a new pen. You have to know that white Sharpie is better than white Deco, but blue Deco is better than blue Sharpie. And you got to have the way we have, and a lot of our users have these useless skills in most walks of life. You have to possess that. You have to know which color is better and which brand on which surface and all of this stuff. If you're not that level of deranged that you don't know pens like that, then you have no business running a signing, period, let alone a signing that you're talking of, 6 figures, maybe even low 7 figures of all the product going back and forth.
No, it's fair. It is fair. I just, I don't know how I don't know. It certainly gives me pause about ever doing Harrison Ford in the future. Wasn't Greg doing this Harrison Ford, or he didn't do it?
He got it. He posted his somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, I think he's too busy running the beaches of Malibu like Hasselhoff to post that report.
All right, so we had another Wicked Ink Wednesday. This time, strangely, it was posted on Tuesday.
Yes. Premature ink.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
It's a manner of speaking. So yeah, I actually, because it was posted on Tuesday, I just missed it. So I didn't post anything. But there was some good posts. There were some good examples of autographs. And again, the ones that I pick really are just ones that catch my eye for whatever reason. But Josh posted a full Matchbox 20 tour program. That's pretty cool. Matchbox 20 had their moment. Did you know Matchbox 20 or no?
I know the name. Wait, Rob Thomas, right?
Correct. And he had the song with Carlos Santana. That was, yes, exactly.
You've exceeded my knowledge there. I knew the name, and I knew the lead singer. He was at what the hell is it called? Rough Trade recently.
Also, the captain, he posted his 8x10 with George and Wheezy Jefferson. I thought that was so cool. Oh my gosh.
It is. I pop for anything Jefferson related.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, honestly, that one Oaks show that had George Jefferson really was an insane show.
Did you get
not enough people went to? I did. I got a photo op. I didn't get an autograph.
I got, which I'm whatever. I mean, I would have gotten a crappy 8x10 signed instead, but I got a season 1 of the Jeffersons DVD box signed. Like, imagine now that would be the thing I would get. Like, I'm gonna get it. It's wild. You'd
be getting mocked.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't even notice. I didn't think. I mean, that show, when you think about all the rare names that were there, was crazy. It was so cool. Honestly, what a great show.
Shout out to Eric Popple and Jason Blaustein.
It's funny because I remember at the time thinking that it was a kind of a mid-range show, and just it turned out to have been an extraordinary event. So that was super cool.
Yeah, I mean, Umaga and Sherman Helmsley alone.
Yeah. And then Andrew, he posted he has a signed baseball by Barbara Bush. And just when I saw it, I was reminded of that Borat scene with Barbara Bush. Anyway, if you're a Borat person, you'll remember that.
And I assume this is the first lady Barbara Bush and not the WWF Barbara Bush, right?
This will be the first lady, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Figured.
Anyhow, Photo with Friday. It was another bunch of. It's amazing that we haven't really come close to plumbing the full depths of what people have. There's all new stuff that I just oh damn, all cool stuff every week. So John posted his picture with Bill Clinton. Chris Collector had his shot with Pat McAfee. Are you a Pat McAfee fan?
I respect the energy he brings to the broadcast booth. I do notice the sort of the uptick in the energy, but I mean, I'm not someone that's standing on my seat waving my arms around when he comes out like this dude, the crowd is. So I guess I'm sort of in the middle.
I think he sounds like an idiot. I really don't like him.
I think he's supposed to. I think that's sort of his charm.
That's not charming to me. That's annoying. But it does nothing for me. But he definitely has a pretty dedicated fan base. I find that interesting.
Yeah, to me, he's more of a Mark Madden kind of commentator, like a Vince Russo. It's that.
Mark Madden had a reputation for being the worst commentator of all time. Besides Stevie Ray.
I'm more of a Ventura and Heenan guy, but that's just me.
Oh, I was always my commentary team. I think I told you this. My top commentary team of all time is Ventura and Vince. I love their interplay with each other. I think it's very funny. Vince would be outraged by the things Jesse would say. Jesse would, catch Jesse would play off of Vince's verbal tics. But I mean, to me, Jesse is the best ever. It's actually not close for me anyway. And so, but that was the team that I liked the most. I know a lot of people don't like Vince on commentary, but I love the Vince Jesse thing.
That's definitely Jesse's golden era with Vince. I agree.
Oh yeah, I mean he was on fire. Everything he said was funny. He had a way of making even the minor stuff, like even the serious stuff or the straight stuff, still funny. Jesse's the best, just my favorite. Even modern Jesse's always been great. I love Jesse. He's so funny. Just the funniest. Anyway, what else? Oh, and Seth posted a great shot with the big hurt Frank Thomas. Part of me wants to see Frank Thomas at like Fanatics or something like that. I
don't think it's that much of a stretch. He does a lot of the sports shows. Just
because he's from that era. He's a guy who I like. He's always fun to watch. And so anyway. That was a cool shot as well.
Definitely cool.
All right, get into the con news here. There's a couple of kind of important announcements.
Yeah, starting off with Chill Out. They add Warwick Davis and Betsy Russell. And I think Warwick is right in that little pocket with Dolph Lundgren, where it's the kind of guy that he has a resume that people want him. And he really hasn't been in these parts in quite some time.
Yeah, he's always. I think last time we saw him was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago,
and he drew well. He drew well.
He always draws. I saw him at Monster Mania many years ago, and he drew really well. He's always. It's weird. He used to be much more fun and personable. He is definitely less so now. Not saying he's not nice or anything, but he's definitely more of an assembly line kind of guy. When I met him at Monster Mania many years ago, he was overly friendly and funny and whatnot. He's definitely less so now. But still some good ads for Chill Out. Definitely draws, that's for sure. So good job with that. Steel City added Patricia Richardson, who they had previously teased. So we were expecting this announcement. Then there was kind of a weird thing. Debbie Dunning. Well, who's Debbie Dunning? That's the other one from
Heidi. Heidi from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
And then Al Borland is still coming. So like that trio of Home Improvement people that go around for the reunion, that is basically set.
Yeah. And then there was a very weird thing that went on with the announcement of Kristen Shaw, who is Louise from Bob's Burgers, where Steele announced her and then minutes later edited the post basically saying, just kidding, she's not coming. She's not able to come after all. Very strange. You didn't even see it. I had to tell you.
Yeah. By the time I checked, they deleted it. I guess I didn't even know until just now that they actually edited it. I thought
they edited the
vanished.
post.
Yeah. That's weird. I'm not a super fan of Bob's Burgers, but I've seen a handful of episodes and they're all super funny. I find myself laughing at. It's just a good show that I will one day watch. So I was actually kind of excited when I saw she was added. And, I mean, I think we're still sort of teetering on going, but this kind of like irrationally sort of deflated me a little bit, that giveth and taketh away for someone, that you would have gotten so quick.
What do you think? I'm thinking, because I actually meant to ask you this and just forgot. I think they should go for Pam Anderson for a Home Improvement reunion. No,
I mean, I think any convention under the sun, if they could get Pam Anderson, should go for Pam Anderson. And I was never a super fan of Pam Anderson's, but I mean, she was a global icon at that point in time. If you could get her to your convention, it's I think you're printing money. So yes, absolutely. But a reunion with all of them without Tim, I mean, unless Tim was dead, like, I think that's pretty lame. Like, you need, which I don't know how realistic it is, it's probably not. But I mean, to really go leaning heavier in a Home Improvement reunion, if you don't have Tim, you don't have Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I don't know how.
I think the thing is, truthfully, look, at the time, contemporaneously, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was probably the biggest star on the show in terms of why people were watching that show. And to me, it was all the young girls were watching that show. It was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That was the thing, right?
I wasn't old enough to be aware of that, but looking back now, it makes sense. I could believe that.
I mean, then you start saying, well, who had the best career? And then it's like, well, was it Tim Allen or was it Pam Anderson? I think probably that you could make an argument for either. Tim Allen probably is bigger because of
Definitely
Toy Story, right?
Toy Story, Santa Claus.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think Jonathan Taylor Thomas, though, is the biggest missed opportunity on the convention scene.
He's plainly said he completely dropped out of the public eye. That's his thing.
Stupid. Make your money and drop out of the public eye 358 days a year and do a couple cons throughout the year and make millions. Come on.
I don't know. He has no interest. So I think if they had Jonathan Taylor Thomas at a con, the admission would sell out. I think because every woman who normally goes to like a creation show would go to this, if he was. I just don't think it'll ever happen. Anyway, Monster Mania added Linda Hamilton and Ellen Lutter. Linda Hamilton's making the rounds. Are you going to get her? Get some graphs?
I would love to. I don't know. Is she going to be the upstairs name that you're like waiting outside on the sidewalk for 5 hours? If so, I would just do a mail-in, or or is she going to be in the big ballroom and just have the line?
She always draws well, but I don't know. I've never had trouble getting her when I needed her at these shows. So
for a split second, I thought to myself, "Ooh, maybe I'll buy a VIP and get the line jump." And then I'm like, "It's ridiculous! I'm going to spend an extra $100 on top of my admission to do that. Like that's not very very cost effective." So I don't know,
because you don't have an item that you really need for her. That's the issue.
Well, I do. I have my Children of the Corn 11 by 4.
Like I said, you don't have an item that you really need.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't even know what I'm doing. I mean, I would like. Yeah, I think I would definitely want a Terminator 1, because if I got her and Michael Biehn, I could live with that being all I'd ever have, and I would be good. T2 without Arnold is forget it. T1 without Arnold is forget it. But I mean, let's be real. T1 was really those two doing their thing, running around. That was like more important to me, at least. But we'll see. I'd like to get her.
Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, big news. I think anyway. I mean, I think you think so too. That's why you sent it to me. Paul Giamatti was added to Awesome Con. That means he's out there doing cons now.
Yeah, I don't think it's awesome enough for me that I don't even know what date Awesome Con is, so I'm not that excited where I'm like chewing on going. I think you're in the same boat, correct?
Well, I thought I looked it up and it was a date that I couldn't go.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely not going solo, so forget
what's
that.
What's the date on this? It's March 13th to 15th. So that's the week before. Yeah. There's no way I'd be doing that the week before we're going. All this other stuff. It's just too much.
No, I agree. That's the type of thing that we would be like miserable doing all that.
Yeah. And it's DC, which DC presents its own logistical challenges for travel. Because it's not that far, but like the hotels are expensive. You got to be careful which hotels you stay at. There's stuff, in DC.
I guess there could be a play for like Amtrak, but I mean that's a lot.
Go in and out the same. Amtrak is very expensive. Very expensive.
I'm looking at the lineup right now. It's a solid lineup. Like you have Nathan Fillion, who kind of fell off he was everywhere for a while, and he hasn't been in these parts in a little bit. Same with Takai. He hasn't been in these parts for a little bit.
Oh, Gina Torres is a great name from Suits. Damn. Yeah. Wow. Who else is on that list?
Summer Glau, another one that hasn't been around.
Posey will probably cancel.
Yeah.
Who else is on there? Lots of like Firefly, Serenity type names, and Doctor Who. Summer Glau, that Jason Blaustein brought her out that time.
Yeah, but no, I mean, giving this a quick spin, it's not worth. For me, it's not worth all that. I'm not some super fan of Paul Giamatti. I'll hope he does NYCC or Rhode Island or something, but I'm not going to do all this to get him.
I think, especially now that he is apparently doing bookings, that's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah. I think
that,
NYCC is a natural spot for him because he's in New York a fair amount.
good stuff. All right, that's awesome. And so Fan Expo New Orleans posted that Corey Feldman's prices are up, and he's raised his price. Corey Feldman always had cuckoo prices. It was like $80 if you got it personalized, $160 if you were unpersonalized. It's even, I think that's what it is now. But he also added a provision that large items or 3D items are $200 each. No one's paying that.
No. What's interesting is he doesn't seem to have. If you want it personalized, it's still $200. If you don't want it personalized, it's $200. So it's a flat rate for the larger 3D stuff. But like you said, no one's really paying that. And I mean, that's who he is. He's a weird dude, and God bless him, I guess. But that's wild.
Yeah. So it's Corey Feldman. He sucks. He's a lunatic. No, he's a lunatic. If you ever have to, meet Corey Feldman's a lunatic. I'm glad I got him years ago, many, many years ago. I wouldn't say he was less of a lunatic, but that wasn't even true. He was just as much of a lunatic back then. And I hope to never have to deal with him again.
Agreed.
All right. So it's last thing is Fanatics. Fanatics dropped their first wave of guests. And you were like definitely waiting for that moment. You were really checking and refreshing for it.
I was pretty excited with it.
Anything jumping out for you that you say, wow, this is exciting for me?
Objectively speaking, Patrick Ewing being at a New York City convention is astronomically cool. I have him. I'm not going to deal with the cost and the lines for an autograph. So I'll be on the sidelines for that. That's awesome. Timing wise, my New York Mets are starting a road trip like Friday. I think Thursday they're still in town, but there's probably not going to be much of a Met presence there again, which sucks. But whatever. How about you?
I mean, nothing that really. I honestly, my predictions were really good. If I made the predictions on the Facebook, not on here, my predictions are pretty accurate. I called the WWE lineup almost to the name, for at least the first wave. It's pretty standard stuff, and there's nothing crazy there. So nothing's knocking me out. But based on this lineup, I'll say I'm pretty confident I will be attending at least one day.
I'll be attending. I mean, sports-wise, there's a number of people. WWE-wise, there's a couple of people. We're not going to make the mistake we made last time and really dig in and dissect this, because as I have it written on the show outline, this is definitely volume 1. I'm sure WWE's lineup, when it's all said and done, will be damn near doubled this. It just will. That's how they do it. I'm sure a lot more sports, a lot more everything. I mean, Kevin Costner was added pretty late from the first announcement to when he was. So I think there's still a lot of room for quite a lot of things to happen. So I'm kind of setting myself, I put it in my calendar for all 4 days. I will pray that I'm not there for even 3 days. Ideally, I could do 1, but I'm sure it'll probably be 2. But this is they are just getting started, and I think I don't think anyone could look at this initial burst and say it's bad. The level of names all over every aspect, every genre, they cook with like nitroglycerin. Like, it's insane the level that they bring it. It's objectively insane.
Yeah, I mean, and I just suspect that we're going to see some kind of Costner level major name pop up for this show too.
I hope. And let's just throw it out there. Brady, Aaron Judge, and Kevin Durant, I'm fairly certain, are going to be. I would stake a limb that Brady is doing nothing. Judge, I don't think, is doing anything. Durant should do stuff, given he's not like LeBron, where there's athletes in football especially that do it all the time that are bigger than him. He should do it, but he hasn't. So I assume he won't. So I think
let's say they have Judge, but it's $1,000 op. Do you do it?
I'm not a Yankee guy, so solo, absolutely not. If you were willing to do a split, or Ira or someone for $500 a piece, honestly, I'm probably deranged enough I would do it. But I mean, it's sick. It's sick. It's a really deranged move for someone that's not even a fan of that team. But I probably would for a 500 split.
I mean, I'm curious. I also agree. I doubt Judge does anything, but you never know.
Listen, if Judge did them for $2,000, he would sell out. I think any price he could put up, short of like 10, he would sell out. Somehow, some way, he would.
I don't disagree. I really don't. So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, please email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out autograph collecting community on Facebook. All links are in the show notes on Facebook and Substack. And if you want your event, product, or brand advertised on episodes of Marked Out Radio, reach out to us today at markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com. Please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts if you like what you're hearing, and leave us a rating and or review. You can leave a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave a rating on our show generally, or comment on specific episodes on Spotify, or you can leave thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment on YouTube, and we encourage and appreciate all engagement. Also, Marked Out Collectibles is running a special sale on autographed Ari Lehman Jason Funko Pops. It's one of the ones you see online. It has a sketch of Jason drowning from that scene from episode from the first movie. Ari draws it in all different kinds of colors, and he signs it. And we're selling those $50 shipped. That's well below market value. You can check market value. Look on eBay. Look around. See what it goes for. We're selling them $50 shipped, and you have to email us or DM to buy one. We have some left, and those will be running until, what do you think, the end of January? That sale?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good time. I wouldn't want to run them indefinitely because I know once Halloween season comes around. I mean, I think it was last Halloween we were moving those
$90 a piece. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to give them all away here at a great price. Sorry, listeners, but a couple more weeks. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So now we're up to some listener questions. We have listener questions, and then we have another topic to discuss. So go ahead. You fielded these questions, so I have not seen them beforehand, so we'll do our best to answer them. So go ahead.
All right. This one is from C-Rat. He submitted it in person. This is the first in-person question submission I've ever received. And it goes, which one of you is more knowledgeable about autographs, and why is it Dana?
Do you want to field this, or should I field it?
You take it. You lead off.
I am considerably more knowledgeable about autographs. I've been collecting autographs a lot longer than you have. A lot.
I don't think so.
You were photo op only for many years.
I was getting autographs in the 90s.
Yeah, but a handful. In terms of volume. I mean, I got autographs in the 80s if you want to play that game. In terms of collecting in volume, you were photo op only at cons for years.
Are you throwing the jets at me from Hula Hands, or whatever the hell you were?
It was the ground round.
Oh.
But no, I mean, I was, when I started the hobby in 2007, it was autograph. I was hundreds of autographs a year.
You did sort of originate the paint pens on figures.
That's something that a lot of people don't know, is that I am one, and people are going to think this is a completely insane thing, but I think you can vouch this. I am one of the first people to get to use paint pens on figures. I was doing it at wrestling cons back in 2008. I had paint pens for figures. People used to freak out and beg me to borrow my paint pens at these cons for my figures. So for their figures, I should say. It was a pretty common occurrence that I would go whenever I went to like an individual wrestler appearance or an individual appearance of whoever, and I brought a paint pen for my figure. It happened more than 3 or 4 times that the promoter would ask to buy my paint pen. I will never forget. There was this Hoist Gracie signing at the mall. I can't remember what year it was, but anyway, I had brought a green Elmer's paint pen. And I had all my Hoist Gracie stuff done in that green paint pen. And the promoter bought my pen off me for $40. $40 for a pen that I had paid $3 for, but he didn't have them at the moment, so I was able to take advantage. Yeah, no, in terms of I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much you want to even litigate this, but I really actually don't. I don't think it's close. I have. I mean, I think you have probably as many autographs as I do, but you've also bought a lot more collections than I have. I really haven't bought any. And over the years, I've collected more autographs than you. I actually don't even think it's close. I mean, don't forget, I sold in the early 2000s probably 1,000 autographs. So yeah, that's I mean, this is not to say who has more, but then also in terms of the knowledge about these things, I think there are certain people that that you're better than me on in terms of assessing authenticity, but I'm pretty good on that end as well. I've been, when you think about like the kinds of collecting in terms of autographs that I've done, I was doing full-size posters, I was doing belts before real people were doing these things in large numbers. So yeah, that's why I would say I am.
The only argument I could make on the flip side of that would be that for the last couple of years you are more focused on moving autographs than gathering autographs.
I would say it was for the last under a year. But that really hasn't. I mean, when you think about I just think you were photo op only for like 7 or 8 years, something like that. It was a long time.
It was,
and at that point, I was, and that's not to say collecting autographs is the same as knowledge about autographs, but
I was going to say at a certain point, like yes, you created perhaps. I mean, there might have been someone like you somewhere else doing the same thing at the same time with paint pens on figures, but I didn't see it. So to my knowledge, you were like the first to market on that.
What about the quote thing? I was doing quotes when no one else was doing quotes. Yes, I was doing. I have quotes on my posters from years ago.
Well, I mean, no one else is a slippery slope. I'm sure there were other people doing it.
Sure,
But
what I'm saying was
the market, wasn't.
It wasn't there. I was doing it from the beginning. The tape trick. These were things that people do now that I was doing years ago. Getting I consistently, and this is something that I will put up against anyone out there. There are certain things I consistently have the best exemplar on the market of, there are certain things I'll take that bet against anybody. I have certain autographs where I have the best on the market. And I take special care to make sure that's the case.
Is that knowledge or happenstance? Like your Robert Downey Jr., is that luck or was that your skill of how you crafted the request and everything?
100% how I crafted the request. 100%. Because other people have crafted similar requests. Mine was better. I know mine was better because I saw the proof in the pudding. Or even, even at cons and stuff like that. I don't mean to. This sounds like I'm a raving lunatic right now, but no. I mean, I have especially when it comes to cons, I have a lot of knowledge about how to extract the best possible product from the person at the table. I have many years of experience to prove it. I have the proof is in my what I have. Many items of which I've sold and stuff like that, but I still have a bunch.
What I will counter with, and listen, truth be told, I don't really care who's more knowledgeable. I don't think you do either. It's a good question, just for the sake of just debate. But I think I've gotten more wrestling autographs done in my lifetime than you have. I'm confident about
true,
that.
though.
I think it is.
Think of all the super tickets and the extras all those years. I was getting at those shows
Go on.
At those shows where you were getting nothing, I would come home with 50 autographs. Do you understand that?
I've after COVID, I was going to Wrestling Universe on a weekly basis, getting 30 Tito's.
But at the same person.
I said quantity of autographs. I've done bulks with different people solo where I've pulled 50 prints. I had the pile of RVDs by my feet alone at the Wrestling Universe that day. I've gotten more wrestling signatures quantity-wise. Maybe not variety, but quantity. And I'm not sure how that would translate to knowledge. That's like someone at a cash register that I've rung up 50,000 items. Like, do you have knowledge about the Dove soap you scanned 600 times?
It's
Maybe
true.
not.
I
You
guess
just scan it.
knowledge is hard to quantify.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Um,
really quantify it, but I'm definitely, I have surpassed you now in activity, I think, with wrestling. Because you got to understand those super tickets. I had super tickets too. I just got shittier items signed. I had my encyclopedias. I had my 8x10. So when you were getting 50 autographs, I was probably walking away with 25.
no. I don't think you understand. I was getting multiple extras from every person.
No, that's why I said 25 to your 50. You definitely had more than I did, but I was getting them. It wasn't like my photo only time came when you weren't getting super tickets anymore. You've leaped me far in horror and celebrities and all that. You've
Yeah, because
gotten tons
all
more.
those Monster Manias, all those chillers that you didn't even do them.
But I bet my quantity of autographs I've obtained from wrestling in my life, counting inventory, would probably be double yours. That's how sick
Probably.
and deep I've gone down the rabbit hole. I possess in my collection at least 65 demolition items. Granted, there's like 20 of which are sitting in a pile waiting for a day where, they're dead and we're able to sell them for more. But yeah, so again, is that knowledge? Do I have more knowledge of demolition because I've gotten more than you? Does that make me more knowledgeable about even their genre of autographs if we were to call them their own genre? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I'd be better at identifying a demolition axe than you would be, but I feel like you'd be able to identify it without having as many as I have. So,
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next question comes from Tyler. We've been sitting on this one a while. He is asking about Liam Neeson. Is Liam Neeson ever doing a con? Would he be a massive draw? How much would a combo be? So look, we have come to the, I think, conclusion that never say never on anybody. Look, if you would have asked me if Paul Giamatti would do a con, I'd be like, probably not. I don't see Paul Giamatti as particularly being a draw based on his body of work. But here he is doing awesome con. I know Liam Neeson is a pain in the ass on the street, especially like he's kind of, I remember, it's my understanding he kind of got burnt out on people chasing him around for Star Wars autographs. He used to be good, and then he got kind of burnt out about it. I think he would be a massive, massive draw at probably a $400 combo. What are your thoughts?
ooh, well, I think it'd be a lot more than that. Would he ever do a con? If he's smart. If he's smart, he would. He would make insane money. Would he be a massive draw? Absolutely. With Star Wars and Taken and ton of other things, but forget the other things. It would really, I think, boil down to that. I think of 100 people on the line, 90 would have an item from one of those franchises. So yeah, I think he would be an insane draw. I think he would probably be $500 or $600 for a combo. I don't think he would be like a $200 photo op. I think he'd be priced like Costner.
I don't know. I had him more in the Sigourney Weaver category.
I don't think Sigourney Weaver would be in the Sigourney Weaver category if this was her first appearance.
I guess. I mean, yes, you might be right. I don't know. I don't look. He has shown a particular distaste for doing these, for doing public appearances. So
Let's compare him to Lawrence Fishburne, who I think has a similar distaste, a similar rareness. He was around a $400 combo. And if we compare careers, I mean, come on. Larry is not Liam. He's just not. And I love Fishburne, but he's not.
I don't know. The Matrix is huge, but you're probably right. But I guess
Matrix is Keanu. Taken is Liam.
It's
the
true.
Memes, all that stuff. He's the supporting guy in a lot of things. He's not the lead in Boys in the Hood. He's not the lead on Blackish. Liam is, I think a little more prominent sort of as being the guy. So he would not be the price of Fishburne to me.
Fair. And then finally, this was Chris Collector, wasn't it?
Correct.
All right. To people who only do paid meets, why all the negativity towards free meets? Do you think he means street meets, or do you think he means like the freebie Cricket Wireless? I think he means street meets, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it as street meets. I mean, I hate the Cricket Wireless ones just because it's like to me, it's like some orbit of hell to go wait outside of a store for that many hours for something you could easily just pay for at Fanatics. I don't understand. But yeah, let's take it as street meets.
All right, so take it.
I think for a lot of people, it's think it's his jealousy. They're paying money for something that someone else is getting for free. And I don't even want to say it completely with judgment, because like when you said Greg got Ryan Reynolds instead of Bradley Cooper, I was like irrationally like, not because of Greg, since I'm friends with Greg, I would hope he succeeds at all ventures. Did it sound like I'm lying there?
Yes.
Did that sound? All right, well, crap. But in general, I mean, I wouldn't really be mad that a friend of mine gets something rationally. But irrationally, when you have something rare, you kind of want to keep it rare. That's just a deranged thing that some of us have. But I think for these people, it's like, if I'm paying this money, who the hell are you to get it for free? I think that's part of it.
I think that's part of it. I also think self-righteousness plays a very large part in it, though. This idea that, how dare you try and circumvent this process that we have, the orderliness of it. There are people who get really mad when other people find a way to circumvent orderly processes. And I think there's some of that happening here. I don't quite understand when people get so bent out of shape about like airport stalking or whatever. It's one of those things that, again, it's for certain people, it's the only way, literally the only way to get a result. It's either airport stalking or nothing, and so there's not even like you can say, oh, but then there are other people who go like, they get people who are like con regulars at the airport, and you kind of just shake your head and wonder why.
Yeah. Not to rehash what we've already discussed, but the only type of airport graphing or stalking that I kind of like roll my eyes at is the people that like wait at the airport. Like, let's say, like, after Steel CityCon, they're there for 3 days selling their wares, and then you're waiting at the airport, especially for the talent that brings themselves in, and they're actually seeing their, they're not getting a guarantee, and you're just expecting them to give it to you for free when they've been selling their stuff. That to me is a little bit distasteful. Like, not to a level I get mad and I'm going to start commenting on people's posts, but it's similar to like the stuff that you got all mad about with Justin Dhillon and whatnot. Like, when they're gettable and they're obtainable and they're there and you're there, it's like come on, like, you're just actively saying like, you're not worth my money, give it to me for free. And that pisses me off on a couple levels. But I never understand the self-righteousness on social media with everything, that you have to hear yourself talk to complain and show I'm upset about this. Who cares if you're upset about this? Don't go to the airport. If you don't want to bother someone at the airport, don't go. The other people that do, oh well, they do. And if the celebrities don't like it, well, they're grown-ups in most cases. If they're not, if they're a child celebrity, they're being exploited by a grown-up who can figure out a way out of the uncomfortable situation.
There you go. Speaking of which, there was a funny thing that happened on the group, the Facebook group, the Marked Out Autograph Collecting Community this week. Some poster, he kind of came out of the woodwork. I don't recall ever seeing his name, but he had this whole elaborate conspiracy where he was accusing longtime Marked Out member Class 316 of faking a photo with Al Pacino using Photoshop. I believe your initial thought, along with mine, was this was just a troll, right?
Yeah, it has to be, because he mentioned how he spent hours like digging for these photos and he found them, but he wasn't like, why wouldn't you have instantly posted it? People asked him to post it, including Class 316, including myself, and he hasn't. So I don't think he found anything, because I know for a fact, I remember when Class met Al Pacino and posted those photos, like, they're real. I know that for a fact. Also, maybe back then his mental state would have allowed him to be capable of faking photos. Now, the guy can barely tie his shoes mentally. So, I mean, I don't think now he's not faking anything. And then the guy mentioned that Class like blocked him on MySpace. But Class doesn't block anyone because he like needs to see comments and things, and he's like,
to me, that was right away the least credible moment, because knowing Steve, he doesn't block anyone. That's his thing.
Yeah, he hates
blocking. He doesn't block. He hates blocking. It's like it violates his essential kind of feelings about free speech. He doesn't do it. So that's how you know it strained credibility. But I mean, the whole point of it was just to needle Steve and poke fun at Steve. But his idea of faking photo ops is kind of an interesting segue into our topic of the show, which is that Google's AI platform Gemini has added a feature that and again, all of the AI platforms have this feature to a certain extent, but Gemini has added a feature for its pro service where it can make realistic modifications to existing photos. And so I guess you played with it before I even knew that it existed. So why don't you explain a little bit about what it can do?
Okay, and just to give credit where credit is due, Greg 2600 bought a new phone that had some aspect of course, Greg always makes a mistake when he buys a phone. He doesn't buy an iPhone. He buys some sort of a Google phone, which had Gemini on it. So he was talking about, like, he was playing around with some aspect of the platform. And I then downloaded the platform, the Gemini app to my superior iPhone. And I began. It's not really superior. Technologically speaking, I know that the Android innovates a lot. Before someone, likely Greg, comments and posts receipts to back up what I'm saying is not true. Anyway, and it's really, really a powerful platform. I don't know how long it's gonna stay sort of like without a governor, so to speak. Hey, you can just go balls to the wall with it. I know a lot of platforms give you problems if you're trying to modify or create something featuring someone's actual likeness, and there's a lot of like safeguards in place. This does not have very many safeguards. I was able to make a photo of myself and Keith Richards kissing. Like, anything you could want to do, you can do on this thing within reason, of course. Yeah, it's powerful. As with any of these platforms, there's things you can do. I created a photo of myself and Brad Pitt from scratch, and then I was able to fix photos that I had, like, let's say, a bad out of focus shots from the street from 8 years ago, various things that I wasn't able to fix in any sort of an organic way, that this has given me the ability to fix. And then, of course, there's always the debate of organic. What is organic? Is any of it organic? Is fixing anything using any of these platforms valid? Organic? Is it true? Is it in the sense of reality? I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, I guess so. I really only played a little bit with what it can do. I'm going to be honest. I was a little bit disappointed in what it can do. You showed me some of the things that it could do for you, but like I fed it 2 photos of mine that
your Undertaker shot from Florida is like unfixable. I don't know why. It's not even that bad. But anything I type in, any prompt I come up with, it doesn't do anything. It just looks exactly the same.
So yeah, I have a when Undertaker did that signing at NXT in Tampa 100 years ago. What was that? 2012, 2013, something like that. My shot was slightly blurry. I do not actually blame Evan Abo for that, even though he took the shot. But I had a crappy camera. It was some Canon thing. Anyway, my shot is blurry. I mean, Taker was wearing that ridiculous like bowler hat too. Like anyway, like Buster Keaton. And the shot is blurry, so we ran it through Gemini. It didn't have any effect. Then I have an old Polaroid from meeting Ted DiBiase at an indie show. This would have been 2008 or so. And the Polaroid's fine. It's not even a bad shot. It's a pretty, it's just a Polaroid. So it has that little slightly overexposed look, the slightly, strangely saturated colors. So we ran that one through, and what happened? My face changed. DiBiase stayed the same. It changed my face.
Yeah. It doesn't like you for some reason. To be completely
so it definitely
fair,
has some work. It needs some work.
Yeah. It works much better with celebrities, because here's how it works. This is what it does. If let's say a celebrity is wearing, let's say you have a photo op with Robert De Niro and he's wearing a birthday hat. If you say to it, take off the birthday hat, it knows it's Robert De Niro. So not only will it remove the hat or sunglasses or anything, it knows who it's looking at, usually. So it will use like the actual eyes of the person. It's not like generic AI eyes that are like soulless and not the actual like accuracy at all. This will take that person that you're fixing and find components of them. It'll put their head, their eye, whatever. If you said make so and so smile, it'll use their actual teeth. It wouldn't just be random teeth. So that is what makes it kind of unprecedented. But for whatever reason, even when you're not distorted, it still changes you. But it doesn't do that to me. It's weird. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know why. I think I'm gonna try with your Undertaker. While you were talking about it, I may start with an initial request of asking it to remove the hat and see if there's any way to make it sharpen it. You don't even care if the hat is removed. You just want it to be sharpened for the sake of experimentation. Right. And I don't understand. I've sharpened photos of mine that were significantly worse, and it does it without breaking a sweat. Yours, it won't do it. I don't understand why.
So let's talk about the implications for the hobby. So now, do you feel comfortable, like if you get for example, if you do a split at a con, do you feel comfortable telling Gemini to remove the other person and then just posting that photo as if it were unaltered?
Well, let's not to steal Cody's line, but let's talk about it. When I split photos, that's what I do. I don't know if there's purists out there that wouldn't tolerate it. I am not one of those people. I will find other photos from other people that they post. I will I will clone stamp the person I'm splitting out of the photo. And I will then add by clone stamping and other ways of Photoshop tools, I will add the arm to replace where the person was. I will spend 40 minutes sometimes per file doing that. And it's whatever. I mean, it's what I do. So to me, what I'm doing, if I say to Gemini, remove the tall gentleman, next to me and make the photo not appear cropped, and it adds the arm to make it all match and make it all look nice. It's no less valid than what I've been doing for years. It's just me not doing it. So I would absolutely do that without any hesitation or trepidation or anything. To me, that's exactly what I've been doing, just a hell of a lot easier.
Very interesting. So, I mean, I guess we can just take it to its logical conclusion. What if, for example, you take a photo of someone on the street and the last minute they're looking away? Would you feel good about having it edited so that they're not looking away?
This is where Class 316's rule would be no, because they looked away and that's the way it is. To me, here's how I would view it, which is deranged. But I will walk you through my sort of moral compass on this. If they consent, which I don't care about consent usually, but when it comes to this, if they consent and like the camera hiccups or something happens where it got messed up, but there was consent. To me, any sort of a fix like that, if within reason, if it looks natural and whatever, I could live with that. In my heart of hearts, I would know it was fixed, and it would probably feel at least 15% less cool than if it wasn't fixed. But I would be fine with it. If there was, let's say I like bum rush someone walking on the street and they like cover their face and look away from my camera, and I would then make it appear like they consent. At that point, to me, that's too much. There was no consent. They were trying to look away, and you're making them look when they didn't. To me, that would be a problem.
What about a circumstance where you're getting someone on the street? Maybe you do the video method, and they put up their hand. Almost like who was that? The one we saw, the funny Jamie Lee Curtis, where they put up their hand almost to like get you away. Would you have it remove the hand, or remove an errant body part, or remove like a photo bomber?
Yes, and yes, because I've done that in Photoshop for years. That's what I've been doing. So I absolutely would. That's probably, truth be told, the aspect of this program that is the best for me and has improved my like I've had videos at night that I've taken with people that they're looking in, they're not turning their head, they're not slapping at my camera, they're doing nothing. They're just looking in. It's video and it's night, so it's not the greatest quality. And this has made it look like a digital photo. Like, it's gone from a grainy type of video, like screenshot that I've been living with for years in some cases, and it makes it look like I just used, like, a modern camera today. It changes nothing. The facial expressions are the same. It just somehow makes it a higher quality. To a true purist, I mean, how is it making it a higher quality? If you what's the process? Is it utilizing, is it replicating more than enhancing? Is an exact replication, is that just as, if something's a replica, but it's exactly, is that real? Or is it like a clone? You know what I mean? Is a clone real, or is it an enhancement? Does that matter? To me, if it looks the same as the original, just much better quality, I'm good with it. You've improved the shot I got fair and square. Thank you. But, I mean, I think people like Class 316 would probably struggle with replica versus enhancement. If it's a replica, I feel like he'd probably argue it's invalid. If it's an enhancement, I guess it would be valid. But, I mean, what's the difference? How do you know? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, do we? One of the questions I was going to ask was, do we need to have like disclaimers when people post photos with that have been altered with Gemini?
What would this be on the honor system? Would this be on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because the whole point is when we talk about things that are this photo counts, this photo doesn't count, this is valid, this is invalid. I mean, there's no governing body over this. This has no meaning outside of our little world here. It's not like there are people litigating this or this matters to anyone. But in our world, you get social, cachet. You get some kind of social benefit from having a rare photo with someone, and so for someone, it's almost like stolen valor for someone to be able to claim a benefit that they do not deserve that has been generated artificially.
Well, it depends what's generated artificially. Are you improving something you got organically, or are you I mean, I think there's going to be people, here's the reality, there's going to be people that get I'm going to play around with this at the next convention just to see how it works and experiment with it. But I imagine it would make flawless if you went to a convention, got a pro op with one person, and then took someone else's pro op with the $500 name you didn't get, and posted your pro op with, like, I don't know, Alan Tudyk, and said, found the way to prompt it just right, that it would make you with Alan Tudyk, I mean, you with the $500 name. I bet you those are going to look flawless because it's the same lighting, it's the same everything. I bet you those would look completely flawless. That obviously is going to be complete crap. If you did not stand next to this person, if you did not actually meet this person, it's fake. And I'm
a hypothetical scenario here.
Yeah.
So let's pick someone who's a notoriously difficult photo op. Barack Obama. Okay. Yeah. So let's just say someone gets Barack Obama and it's a perfect picture. He's smiling. They're both looking at the camera. It's in focus. Everyone's like the perfect amount in frame. It's perfect, right? Yeah. Then someone else gets a kind of a shittier version of a photo with Obama, and then they use Gemini to enhance it to make it closer to the other one. Isn't that sort of an example of stolen valor? Because they didn't get as good a shot. They didn't get as good a scenario as the first person. Definitely. But they're able to fake it using Gemini.
Well, fake what? Are we faking his arm around them when it wasn't? Are we faking a smile when it wasn't? Are we moving him closer when he wasn't closer? Or is it just to make it crisper, to make it, improve the lighting? Yeah, I mean,
it's to make it the quality that didn't exist. So if I have a shot that is perfect quality because I was in a situation that allowed for perfect quality, doesn't that in some ways in the hobby count for more?
Yes. But the reality is people have been able to fix quality within reason for years and years and years. That's nothing new.
But this is bringing that ability to the masses.
Well, yes, but it's also giving a new ability. For example, for most people that are not Class 316, if you take a photo with someone, they consent to it and they blink before your photo is taken. A lot of people, even some real meticulous collectors, are okay with fixing blinks. But imagine that same person comes out of their hotel, they take a photo of you, they consent, everything is all well and good, but they're wearing sunglasses. Is having Gemini remove the sunglasses, is that worse than fixing a blink? Is that altering what was more so? Or is it all sort of just the same thing that you're either in favor of or against?
No, I think it's complicated. I think it's
Yeah.
all sort of problematic. If you really think about it, it's all kind of problematic. But then again, what is the purpose of a photo op but to artificially record an encounter or a moment that does not really mean what the photo conveys it to mean? So we've talked about this before. You know how a photo op essentially conveys artificial intimacy. So all this is doing is just increasing the amount of artificial intimacy that's conveying.
Yeah. It does. I think this is definitely troubling. It's funny, Class 316 and collectors like him, and I don't even know if there really are collectors like him. He's kind of one of a kind. He's so concerned with validity and all these different things, but yet a lot of his photos look terrible because it looks like he's being like anally probed by like the Alien vs Predator like creature, and he looks insane and uncomfortable and just bad. A lot of his photos like that suck. So for him to worry so much about all this stuff and have photos that look terrible in some cases is a little weird. But there's collectors out there that I know and I speak to that like they won't take selfies if they can at all avoid it. It all must be handed off. It has to be, they don't want to crop too much. It has to be perfectly centered. They don't want people in the background. For people like that quality really matters, and like this is very, very, very I don't want to say concerning or troubling, because I would hope and they might not care that much, because like you said, what does it really matter or count for in the grand scheme of things? Nothing. But it could bring, like you said, if you have the perfect Obama shot because of skill, luck, opportunity of where you were, this changes things a bit. If you could have a completely awful shot and figure ways to make Gemini improve it. But I mean, for people,
It's certainly, for one thing, it'll certainly make, if it wasn't already, and granted, to people who know recognize that like the autograph proof shot is largely worthless, but this really, hammers the final nail in that coffin.
Yeah, I could put like one of the exercises I did just playing around. I put a photo up of myself in with someone, and I said, create a photo with me and Marlon Brando as he looked in 1990. And the photo I put in of myself that was actually a real photo was a picture of me on a city street. And the photo it created was basically the same city street, but it changed like just enough about the facades and the all the cars that were parked on the street were 1990 era, like that era car. And it kind of sort of looked like Brando. I don't think it was exact or perfect. And I looked a little weird. It made me look a little wonky. It wasn't exactly the right me, but like it's scary. You could say, give me a photo of me and Ric Flair as he looked in 1991, and it'll do that to some level of quality. And then, of course, you can modify your prompts and stuff. And I think for the average person that listens to this show, it's a great opportunity. Actually, I'm jumping ahead to the next bullet.
Jump.
Okay. So the long-term impact on the hobby. For people like us that are not, I don't think many of our listeners, at least I wouldn't assume, are faking the funk, really. I think we're all lunatics at the cons. We see each other there. Our collections are real. And for people like us, I think it's an awesome opportunity to take a photo that maybe is, especially for street graphers out there, that is authentic and real, but has little defects about it that bother you because you're crazy and these types of things bother you. And it gives you the chance, like it gave me the chance to fix it. And I think it's fun that you could play around and say, give me a photo with Ric Flair as he looked at the 1992 Royal Rumble. And I think it's not real in that case. You're not going to try to pass it off as real, but it's fun. It's kind of cool. I think there's definite ethical concerns about, a blink versus sunglass removal, a beard removal, a hat removal, changing an angry face to a happy face, changing hands at your side celebrity that doesn't seem to want any sort of contact to all of a sudden say, make him put his arm around me. I think there's definitely things I'm listing here, and there's a lot more that you could come up with that are sort of less authentic and more troubling to the hobby at large. But here's the reality, and going back to what you said about disclaimers, people aren't going to necessarily give disclaimers. I know I've improved things organically by my standards. I'm not going to say, hey, this was improved by Gemini. I'm not. People aren't, unless you have a photographic memory of everything I have and everything it looked like, you're not going to really be sure of what was improved. And there's going to be people out there that outright fake things completely. And this is a lot easier now. The person that knew that the troll that made up Class faking a photo with Al Pacino, if that happened, which I don't believe it did, now it's not going to be as easy to identify. Somebody could come out of the blue and fake photos with a lot of these people. And I mean, are we going to be able to know?
Well, I think the point is we won't. And that certainly adds a dimension of interest. Is there going to be something, frankly, what this could be is that there could be something that replaces the photo op. Does the video op replace the photo op because the photo op can be faked? I think, look at 40 years ago, there were autograph conventions. The photo op wasn't really a thing because of Polaroid. It was just, now the photo op has become so much of a thing because it's digital. I think we could very much see an era when the photo op loses its luster if it can be faked so easily.
But I mean, look at those videos you see on Instagram of like car crashes and stuff. The cars sliding down the icy hill. And like now you say, oh, look, there's no damage. And it like bounces off in an awkward way. But I bet a year from today, it's going to look better. And a year from that, it's going to look better. And you could probably make a video before too long of yourself passionately making out with John Goodman. And that'll be doable. And I mean, can you imagine if you think a lot of photo ops appear awkward? Just think about how awkward video ops would be. I mean, you have these people that's standing there. Like, I mean, think about our video, like that video we have with MJ Jenkins when she's doing that like marked out commercial, and she like insisted we be in it with her, and we're just like
Dreadful.
standing there.
Awful.
Yeah, an awful thing. One day I actually post that just for laughs. Like, I mean, I don't think a video op would be half as cool or half as popular because people are going to feel, I would hope, self-conscious like we do from that video.
I mean, I threw that out as a hypothetical. I just wonder if something is so easily faked, whether there's going to continue to be a demand for it at large. I don't know the answer to that. Society is interesting, right? So because of the proliferation of social media, photo ops blew up in popularity. Perhaps we see a time in the near distant future where that changes in some way or another. I don't see it as being outside the realm of possibility. Because society's changes can happen very quickly, and we don't necessarily see them as they're happening.
I don't think photo ops are going to go out of style. What I think is going to happen, and that's why I've kind of been fixing what I need to fix a bit feverishly. I think Gemini will tweak things the way ChatGPT tweaks things. Because when I first jumped onto ChatGPT, I was doing different things for the show graphics. And I would say, like make Kevin Costner look uncomfortable in front of a backdrop and make him have the sunglasses. Like, I could do anything I wanted. It would do it. I made the fake photo of the prom pose with Rhea Ripley, and she looked uncomfortable. And it did everything I asked it to do. Until it didn't. And all of a sudden it said, oh, well, we cannot create or modify likenesses of a real person. And even if it was yourself. And it would
have you switched to Gemini for the show graphics?
I haven't had a need to do them since I've discovered it, but I will now, of course. I suspect Gemini is going to fix this. And it's not going to be a thing. But much like everything else, there's going to be something else that's created that will let you do it. Or there'll be I think there's platforms out there that you could actually do like a little more X-rated type stuff. Because with that whole AJ Lee thing, I kind of went down a wormhole of just researching. And I think there's ones that you could if you ever want to see a photo of James Earl Jones with full frontal nudity, I think there's a platform out there that can do it for you. But I think Gemini, you're not going to be able to do. I mean, right now, as Gemini is, I could take a photo of my neighbor, Photoshop him with a different woman, and go to him and be like, if you don't pay me $1,000, I'm showing this to your wife. And I think that's a very real thing where you could create fake evidence. And I don't think any of these mainstream platforms are going to allow you to sort of create real likenesses of people so freely. So I think it's a matter of time before they fix this. But again, like I said, there's always going to be something that comes along that breaks the fixes. So I don't know. Like you said, society changes and you don't even realize it's happening until it happens. So I don't know, but I can't imagine photo ops will phase out.
But again, we cannot know how society changes until it's upon us. So we'll see. So what's coming up for us in the near future? You have something this weekend?
I do. Friday, I have rapper AZ. He is going to be down in Chinatown at this little record DJ record spot. So I'm going there. I'm a little frustrated because it's after work, and typically I would just bang out like an hour early, but it's before a 3-day weekend, which is sort of a no-no in the education game. And it can still be done, but there's red tape and things you got to do. And frankly, for an hour wiggle room, it's just not worth it. So I'm going to violate marked out code, and I'm going to basically waltz up to a 6 to 7 paid appearance at like 5:45 because the events at this store never draw very well. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. So I'll be getting there close to the wire. How about you?
I'm toying. I haven't made a decision. I'm toying with the idea of doing San Francisco Sketch Fest, but at the end of the month. There's another Kids in the Hall reunion happening, so I'm still on the fence on whether I want to do it. I have to decide. What else?
And what's the appeal for you with that? It's seeing them again?
Yeah. Like normal human thing to go see a show. They're having Bob Odenkirk come in, do a special guest spot as well. So, and the San Francisco Sketch Fest, there's going to be a lot of people in town. So there is a possibility of combo hunting there, I mean, last time around I got combos with all the Kids in the Hall. This time I would definitely go after Bob, and Bob is not hard to get. So, but I don't have him. So it's an option. And plus seeing shows, that's the point.
Sounds good.
We're looking at, I think Monster Mania Oaks so far looks pretty good. I would like another, right now I have
Cherry Hill.
Cherry Hill, that's what I meant. There's really nothing for me yet. But I'm hoping they add something for me.
I'm in, as I think people know, and I think Steel. I think barring like a 0 for 18 streak from here on out, I think we're probably in. I added it to my calendar. I know it's in yours. I think if it goes on a normal trajectory of like the amount of wants we would have from here on out, I think we're probably in.
And then of course we have Big Event. And I think we'll be making some announcements for Big Event shortly.
Yeah, I'm not even going to hype anything or tease anything. I think announcements will come soon enough.
So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason or no reason at all, please email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join and contribute to the Marked Out autograph collecting community on Facebook. And the only private signing that we are announcing that we're talking about again, is Rick Martel. We're taking all the send-ins and pre-orders for Rick Martel, so which will take place at Big Event. So go ahead and buy, because this is the last you will see of Rick Martel.
Yes, this is definitely it. And if you are a collector, you need Rick Martel in your collection. The price is high, but it ain't getting lower.
I think it's exaggerated. I don't need Rick Martel in my collection, but to each his own. But I do encourage, if that's your thing, if you care about that era, if you care about those guys, and then you got, if you want them, this is it. You're not getting him again. This is your chance. So it's not like a thing. Oh, I'll wait. Like, yeah, I just waited on Harrison Ford like an idiot. You're not waiting on this one. It's not happening again. That's it. Done. So keep that in mind. All right. We done?
Yeah, that about covers it.
I agree. So for markedout.com, Marked Out Collectibles, Marked Out Radio, I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And we will see you next week.